Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. So today I've got 5 juggling skills for you to master at home. Let's get into it. So the first skill is the crossover toe bounce. So first we need to master the toe bounce technique. So a key for this one is to make sure as the ball is dropping, you lift your toes slightly to create a point for the ball to bounce off. So as it's coming down, lift the toes and give yourself a little bit of a bounce, so almost like a trampoline, slight lowering of the foot and then raising it upon contact with the ball. And then the key is to combine this with a crossover. So as you're on your heel, we're just crossing our opposite foot over the ball. As the ball bounces back up, then we can continue the juggle. So we piece these two together and this is what we should get. Ball comes down, up, and we continue the juggle. The second skill is another variation of the toe bounce, but this time instead of bouncing it off of the top of the toe as we did in the first skill, we're actually going to bounce it off of the inside of the big toe. So to do this we need to create a flat surface, so we need to put a bend in our opposite leg so that we can get behind that standing leg with our opposite foot, so it's almost like a Rabona technique, and then we're going to put the outside of our foot flat on the ground to create a flat surface with our big toe. Has to be a flat surface so the ball bounces directly upwards. If it's at an angle, it's just going to get away from us. So we need to get the outside of our foot flat on the ground to create that flat surface for the ball to bounce directly upwards. But with a little bit of practice, this is what it should look like. Kick it up underneath the ball, then we continue the juggle. The third skill is the reverse toe bounce. So very similar to the first skill we worked on, now we're just putting that same skill in reverse. So in the first skill, we stepped over the ball and allowed the ball to bounce off of our big toe. Now we're doing the same thing, but our leg comes behind our standing leg. So it's almost like a Rabona. Then with that leg that we've just planted, we're stepping over the ball. So it's a reverse crossover. So let's piece these two together, juggle the ball, allow it to come up and bounce, and continue the juggle. Skill 4 is the outside foot bounce. So very simply, we're allowing the ball to drop and bounce up off of the outside of our foot. But the key with this one is to create a flat surface on the outside of our foot, because if it's at an angle, the ball's just going to bounce away from us. So to create that flat surface, we need to get really low. So there's a bend in our planting foot, and we're going to invert our knee and drop it as far down as we can. And as you can see, that creates a more flat surface with the outside of our foot. So it takes a bit of practice and timing to get directly underneath the ball so that it bounces directly up in the air, and then we continue the juggle. So this is what it should look like. We're juggling the ball, kick it up, get underneath, nice and low, and continue the juggle. And the fifth and final skill is a crossover toe bounce paired with a heel juggle. So if you mastered the first skill, the crossover toe bounce, you should be able to master this one with a little bit of practice. So the first skill, again, is just stepping over the ball, allowing the ball to drop on the point of the big toe, lifting the toes slightly upon contact to propel the ball directly up in the air. And then this time we're pivoting 180 degrees. And then with that same foot that we performed the toe bounce, we're just going to lift our leg. And that's going to make contact with the heel and hit the ball directly upwards. And as we make contact with the ball, we continue our spin for a full 360 degrees. And then we continue the juggle. So let's piece it all together here. We're juggling the ball, crossover toe bounce, pivot, hit it up in the air, and continue the juggle. So there we have it, 5 juggling skills for you to master. And if you want to learn more skills like these, you can check out more tutorials in the playlist on the screen right now. But if you enjoyed today's skills and you want to see more like this, make sure you smash the like button, hit that subscribe button for weekly training videos, and I will see you guys in my next video.